Okay, well, that was just the oddest thing. So I'm back here again, and we're going to try this one more time. Goodness gracious. Okay, Christina wants to come to the video. Well, Christina, I want you to come too, so let me let you in. So, we're going to pretend that happened. We're starting all brand new again.
Ah!
Today's the first day back at school. Obviously, this mama did not sleep last night, so apologies for everything that just went happened. We're just starting brand new. Good morning, Christina.
Hello. It's Facebook's fault.
What's that?
It's Facebook's fault. They didn't even have a thing for me to join you.
Oh, yeah, Facebook, right? What would we do without it? Today
I don't know.
the first day back at school for my kids. Christina gets to keep hers home for one more day. But this mama did not sleep.
I'm excited about tomorrow, though. I'm like,
You're excited. Oh, not me. See, I would keep mine home all the time. All the time.
Oh, God, no.
Anyways. No. Today is the 4th of September. So we're about 3.5 days late of letting you know what the specials are. But we're 27 days left in the sale. So we're going to go through the items that we have for the September special. But before we do that, I'm Tracy Taylor from Alberta, and this is
Christina Arias Tirado, and I'm from New York.
And we
are
Jacobs. Okay, so Christina's going to start, but before she does, I always like to go first and last. So I would like to announce our winner from Saturday's participation. We said anybody who participated in our live, whether you commented, whether you asked questions, we would throw your names in. So Alexandria, you are the winner from Saturday. I will contact you later and make sure that I have your address, and I will get a little something that we discussed on Saturday shipped off to you. So how's that sound? I see there's lots of people commenting today. It's because they know we're giving stuff away. So keep the comments coming. And if you want the recipe for anything that we talk about, make sure that you comment recipe chicken or recipe squash. Let us know what you want, and we will make sure that we message that to you.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start with our big one. It's our big sale. Every month, we get a flyer like this. Although I don't put mine in color. Tracy prints hers in color. She's fancy. I'm not. And there's always one item on there that is for delivery customers. So that's one of the perks of getting on the delivery. You're going to get like 30% off one of the items. And this month is our ground beef. I know it's backwards. I'm sorry. Has anybody out there tried our ground beef? Comment below
if you've comments if you've already tried the ground beef. Let us know if you've tried it or you haven't tried it.
Yep. And I love our ground beef. And here's one of the reasons why. Number one, it's all cooked for you. And it's already drained. So there's no fat. Like anything that you're going to cook, you're not going to get that sheen of fat on the top of it. You don't have to drain it. So there's absolutely no waste at all. And I'm going to show you a little bit what it looks like. I'm just going to hold it up to the camera. You can see it. We're at the bottom of our can. And because this is something that we use all the time. Okay. Are you eating yours right out of the can? I don't eat the ground beef out of the can. I eat the sausage. I've got a thing of sausage.
I'm lazy.
Yeah, I got a thing of sausage and corn sitting here. My daughter had never ever had ground beef before until the Thrive ground beef, because I mean the kid's eaten like 3 random chicken nuggets in her life. But she makes tacos, and I love it because she makes tacos from complete scratch. We don't use the whatever packets with all the garbage in it. She uses everything. It's all Thrive. She uses our tomato sauce. And then uses chili powder and cumin and everything. But she makes tacos probably about 3 times a week with this. So this is great for tacos. Shepherd's pie, if you like shepherd's pie, no matter how you do it. We've actually got almost all the ingredients for shepherd's pie on sale this month, because you can make hamburger soup, a chowder, sloppy joes, anything that I'm gonna, that I would use, that I would have to like brown up some ground beef. and throw it in, I can use this for. And it's so much easier, and there's no waste. That's the part I hate waste. So that's the part for me that I really, really like. And knowing that all our food is clean and you don't have to worry about that. So what do you think? A comment below what you would think that you would use ground beef in. What are your favorite like ground beef recipes besides a hamburger? What you can do, Tracy did make a hamburger with it. She figured it out.
They said it couldn't be done.
I know, but she did it, of course. Don't ever challenge her because she'll do it. But what is your favorite, like, especially like with it going into fall and school is starting, as we mentioned, and you want quick dinners, you want quick stuff, and everything cooks so much. Ooh, what happened? You turned, like the whole screen turned white. That's weird.
I see you.
Everything is so easy and it's already cooked. Everything, so you don't have to cook all that. So it's going to cut your cooking time in half as well. And you're going to save 30% on it this month. So it's a perfect time. This is our family size can. And then what Tracy was holding up, this is sausage, but this is our pantry size can. So it comes in the 2 different sizes. If it's something that you use a lot, I always recommend to get the big can, because the big can, you're going to get about 3 times as much as you do in the small can. So
3 times as much for about twice the price. It's usually about twice the price for 3 times as much. So it's absolutely the way to go. But it's nice that we do have the smaller cans if you're not really sure about it. Trust us, but if you don't trust us, order the small can. But
yeah, it's a great, I always recommend everybody to try things out, that you get the pantry can, because number one, like especially when you're doing your first delivery, you're going to get more and more things to try until you get into your rhythm. You know, because I'm going to tell you, you're not going to like everything. I don't like everything. There's things that I don't eat, you know, that are just not my jam, you know, but you don't know until you try it. But you're going to find those core things that you're just going to love, and it's going to make your life so much easier. So then the next thing is I'm going to talk.
Okay, go ahead.
She's trying to interrupt me. Well, you want me to start with the apples?
Yes.
Or did you want
to start with the apples?
Apples, Fuji apples. And I know it's apple season here. I don't know. Is it over in Alberta? Is it apple season for you guys?
It might be. It's not my yard. I don't have apples.
Yeah, my apples are coming in and everything. But, you know, the apples, once apple season's over, there's a million ways to can them and all that kind of stuff. And you can store them in the cold, and they are going to last a little longer. In the store, of course, they're going to be, you know, they're a little older. But what I love about besides the fact that they're delicious, is our Fuji apples, is that they are a perfect snack. They come in these nice little slices, and they still have the skin on them, and they are so good. And you can use them a million different ways. You can put them in your oatmeal. You can my daughter will make like little tiny apple crisps, or, you know, because she likes apple crisp, but instead of making a big thing, she'll just do a tiny apple crisp. There's a million things that you can do for them. Anything that you would do with apples, you can do with it. You can even make applesauce, you know, whatever you want to do. And these are on sale for 20% off this month. You can get either the pantry can or the big can. And, you know, whatever you want to do, it's a really great, and it's a great snack to grab the can and take with you, or put them in the kids' lunch boxes, because I mean, how many times do you come home with a bruised apple that they've played baseball with and tossed it with their friends, and they've dropped it 40 times.
What the heck did you do to this fruit?
Yeah,
and it has a bruise, and it's no longer acceptable. It wasn't bruised when I sent it, but.
Yeah, because then they don't want to eat the brown spot. So they're like, oh my God, it's got a brown spot. I can't eat that. So it's so much easier.
So that's the apples. We're going to move on to the beans right now. The green beans are fantastic. They're really good out of the can. You can just, actually, you notice I eat everything out of the can, right? But you can refresh them. And one of my favorite ways of refreshing them is green bean casserole. So all that I did was I refreshed my green beans. And I also refreshed some Parmesan cheese. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't have any Parmesan cheese because I ate it all. So I stole a pack out of my Simple Plate. But I mixed the Parmesan cheese, which Christina's going to talk about in a minute, with my beans, refreshed it up together, took about a handful of almonds, crushed them up, drizzled some olive oil on, threw them under the broiler. Look at that. Like, really? It took tops 5 minutes, and that was refreshing broiler and everything. Not really a breakfast food, but I'm going to eat it for breakfast anyways. So you can also throw them in your soups. You can do a shepherd's pie with the green beans. You can refresh them on their own. Throw a little bit of our butter powder over top, and amazing.
You know, I just
Next,
want to say a lot of people don't know, like I get a lot of questions, even like the corn, when the vegetables are by themselves, they're like, well, what do I do? Now, you're not going to refresh them the way that it says on the can. You're not going to say, oh, okay, I'm going to add like whatever, you know, a cup of beans and a half a cup of water. You're actually going to want to do them just like you would with frozen. You're going to boil some water and you're going to toss them in. And then you're going to cook them to the consistency that you like. So, because I had a couple people that, you know, didn't realize that, and they were like, they didn't come out right. And I'm like, because you just want to use it just like you would if you were making frozen.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
dump them in boiling water.
and people often say, well, why do they give a certain amount of water? And this is why, because if you pour boiling water over top, which I'm going to show you now, because while we're talking, I'm going to make a little, just in case somebody shows up at my door today in the next 10 minutes and wants a hot chicken, potatoes, and vegetables with gravy, because you never know, it might happen. So I'm going to get that ready.
It better not happen in my house.
So I have the beans, I put them in here. The reason that it's suggested you don't drown your vegetables is why. I'm gonna let people guess the answer down there while I keep moving on. But I've added quite a bit of water to that. You can see it is not recommended to do that unless you do what I'm gonna do afterwards. So we don't want too much water. If you know why we don't want to put too much water with our vegetables, comment below. But I did, and I did it for a reason. So I've added my green beans. The next thing we're going to talk about is mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are not powdered potatoes. They're not the same as the ones you get in the store. I'm not sure exactly why, but they're fantastic. So I'm going to put some of the potatoes that look like this. People cannot believe how fast potatoes are made. I'm going to take a couple scoops of it. Couple scoops. Add some hot water. Mix that up. Oh, I need a little bit more water. And I'll let it sit for a minute, and the potatoes are going to be done. So the potatoes are great because you can eat them on their own. You can add some sour cream in and make them like a deluxe mashed potatoes. You can add them to thicken your soups or your gravies or your stews. They're easy way with shepherd's pie, and as you know, the ground beef is on sale. So you would refresh a little of the ground beef up, refresh a little of the beans up, or corn or peas, whatever you want. And there's your mashed potatoes. But people that come to my house don't just want mashed potatoes and vegetables, they want chicken. So I'm going to move right along to the chicken, unless you have something that you want to say about the mashed potatoes.
I do. I love the mashed potatoes. And what I will do, what are you giving me that look? She's giving me a look. She's so bossy. I put milk in mine. I do half and half with milk. I'll do milk and I'll do the water. I'll do half and half. And then I'll toss some of our butter powder in it as well, so that I don't have to use like the regular butter. You don't have to worry. You get the same flavor. You just don't have to worry about, you know, cutting up the butter if you don't have butter on hand or whatever. And our potatoes are nice and thick. You know, like a lot of times when you get stuff like instant potatoes are like translucent, you can see through them or something. These aren't like that at all. They're nice and they're nice and thick, and they're, you know, they're a filling potato. I use those all the time.
Yeah. And
okay, go to your chicken, lady.
What's that?
Go to your chicken. Do your chicken.
So the chicken is fantastic as well. So this is what the chicken looks like. Comes in the cans, comes in the pantry cans or the family cans as well. Give you a little peek in there. The amazing thing about our chicken is before it's refreshed, it is such a fragile state that all you need to do, really, I'm going to try and show you this, is just squeeze it between your fingers and it turns into a powder. So by doing that, we've opened the doors. We've opened the doors to baby food. We've opened the doors to kids that get braces. Let's face it, most of our kids go through a time in their life when they have braces. So we can have that powdered right down. We do have some of our consultants who have children that are fed through G-tubes. We also have a couple with older parents and they just can't chew. They need it powdered right down. So all you need to do is add water to the powdered chicken. So again, that's how fragile it is. So you wonder what I'm doing with the chicken I'm breaking in my hand? I'm sticking it in the gravy. It's not going to waste. So I'm going to add some hot water. And again, I added a little extra. Reason being, all I'm going to do then is I'm going to take the liquid that came off the peas and the liquid that came off the chicken once it's refreshed, and I'm going to throw it in my gravy. So Christina, did you see the comments? Did anybody guess correctly why we don't put too much water on our vegetables when we're refreshing them?
We had one that it'll be soggy, another one that you'll lose nutrients.
There it is right there. We're not worried about it being soggy because water doesn't, it's not like they're going to take more water in than they need. What it means is some of the vitamins and nutrients are in that water. So we don't want to just drain off the water, go on our merry way. We've kind of gone back to what we're trying to avoid. We want the food, we want the vitamins, and we want the nutrients. And Thrive has put a lot of research in how to keep all of the vitamins and nutrients in our food. So that's very important. We don't want to waste that. I never throw the liquid off if I'm in a hurry, because it does refresh faster if you have a little extra water. I throw it in the dog's dish. Somebody's going to get it. But right today, I'm going to let Christina go and talk about zucchini. I'm going to prep up my hot chicken, mashed potatoes, vegetables, and gravy, and I'm going to use the extra liquid from the beans in my gravy water just so it doesn't get wasted and I haven't missed out on those nutrients. Take it away, Christina.
Thank you. I don't have like all these fancy examples like her. I know that she's going to do it because she just whips this stuff up like crazy. And I'm a lazy cook. I'm not going to lie. I am. And actually, she's way more fancy than I am.
Because this is so much work. Kettle?
No, I know it's not, but it's like you're more creative when it comes to like putting, you got like that cooker's mind to like put this stuff together, and I need you to tell me how, you know, the recipes, and I need to follow a recipe. I am one of those people. But I do a lot of stuff on the fly, and our zucchini, I love our zucchini. Here, this is what it's gonna look like. It's already washed and chopped for you, and you can eat it right out of the can. It's very, very sweet. But for me, what I do with it is I love zucchini and onions together. I just fry them up with some garlic and some butter, and I just refresh them first and toss them in there and fry them up. I can't even talk. I also put it in our soups, and I also put it in my eggs. I make up jars of scrambled egg mix, and I'll put in whatever vegetables I have that I have open. You know, so I got zucchini open, it's going in there. If I've got asparagus open, it's going in there. Spinach, whatever it is. Yeah, now I need to go to Tracy's house. See, this is the thing about her living so far away is I can't just, you know, in case I just wanted to pop over for some chicken and potatoes.
It happens. People do that.
Not at my house, they don't. Not if they want to live. I'm not letting them in the door. So the zucchini is really good. Anything, there's nothing special that you have to use our stuff for. Anything, any recipe that you have, any meal that you make all the time, you can use our vegetables, our fruits, our vegetables, whatever. You can do them exactly the same way. The difference with ours is you're just gonna have to add the water to refresh it first, that one little step. But the payoff for it is so huge because you're gonna get the nutrients, you're gonna get the flavor and everything else, and you're gonna get the ease, and you're not throwing it out. You know, I know that like I did my garden last year, and I had zucchini coming out to my ears, and I gave so much of it away. And I didn't get to use it all. I ended up giving a lot of it to my chickens because I can't go through it all. And freezing zucchini, I don't like it frozen. I shredded a bunch and froze it, but it loses all the water and it comes, I don't know, and it gets like all like frosty and stuff. So this is like such a much better way. I've had this can open for probably about 4 months. Because I always get the big cans. So and nobody else in my house likes zucchini but me. So it's just me working through it. But yeah, it's so much easier and I love it. And you can also even do like a, put it in your spaghetti sauce. I put it in there. What else? Look at. Okay, so I need to go to Alberta right now and go get some food because like I just had a banana for breakfast. I had some banana with chocolate on it. I had made, they were there. So it's like good for me and a sweet treat, right?
Okay, well, do you want to know what I had for breakfast? I had butternut squash soup with maple pulled pork. Doesn't that sound delicious? If you want the recipe for butternut squash soup with maple pulled pork, put squash soup recipe. I tell you, I think bar none, it is the best soup I've ever had. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Sometimes I even go, that sounds too complicated. So last year in January, I went to Leadership in San Diego and Chef Todd made butternut squash soup with maple pulled pork. I could not get enough of it. It was fantastic. It was so good. And I thought, it's got to be complicated. I can't try it. I can't try it. I've mentioned it every time we've been someplace. And, you know, I know Trisha's like, it's easy, do it. And I wouldn't try it. Well, this morning, while I was waiting for Christina, I thought, well, I'm going to try. I'm going to make it. The recipe calls for the butternut squash, which conveniently is on sale this month. It is delicious right out of the can. Yes, Lorena, I will make sure that I send it to you. Delicious right out of the can. Again, powders right up. But turn it into soup. I promise you, it is the type of soup that when you go to like a fancy restaurant, I had to put it in a mason jar because my bowls aren't clear and I was afraid you wouldn't see it. But it's all of the ingredients go in, then you puree them up. I use an emulsion blender, but you can throw it in a beater or in your Magic Bullet or Vitamix, whatever you have. So it has onions and it has a little bit of celery, some brown sugar, and some butternut squash. Then what you do is you grill up your pork. The entire soup, I think, took about 20 minutes, and that was just because I was doing other things at the same time. It is, just a minute.
Oh, see,
I've had two bowls already this morning. It's fantastic. So please make sure squash soup recipe, and I will get that off to you. Best soup I've ever had. And anybody that's commenting, their names are going to go in, and they will get a surprise, something that we've talked about today. You don't get to pick, you don't get to choose. If I tell you you've won and you have dietary restrictions, though, like if you're a vegetarian, I won't send you the chicken. Unless you have people in your family who aren't. So if you have dietary restrictions, let me know that. Other than that, we're just going to send something off to you for participating in our little talk show.
So, and in case you're not as fancy as Miss Tracy over here, butternut squash, I don't know what to make with butternut squash, to be honest. Like, for me,
I'll send you a recipe.
Yeah, send me the recipe, will you? You can send me a free can.
I'll come and make you soup.
Yeah, come make me soup. But for me, like when I think of butternut squash, my mom would make it always for Thanksgiving, and it was always with the butter and the brown sugar, and then you bake them up in the foil and everything. So that's how I always. So like for me, what I do is I boil mine up, and then I add I drain it, and then I add butter and brown sugar and mix it up and kind of mash it up like that, so that it comes back like that. So that's the only way I've been using it. So you can use it just traditionally, and or whatever, or just right out of the can. So you don't, if you're not fancy, like someone I know, I don't know.
This sounds fancy. It really does, but it was easy. I had one pot, I threw everything in the other one, I threw the pork in with the maple syrup and refreshed it up. So when you refresh any of our meats, and probably our vegetables and fruits as well, but when you refresh our meats, if you want it to take on a taste, so if you want a teriyaki chicken, put some teriyaki sauce in the water, and as it sucks it in to refresh, it takes that in. Mm-hmm. So by putting the maple syrup in with the water, it was infused with it. Easy. Yep. I make it sound like I am like Julia Child. Trust me, I'm like Julia's child. If I can't cook it in a mason jar, it doesn't usually get cooked, but it's delicious.
If you're a child, like her long lost cousin.
Oh, Christina's froze. I am. I have a little button. I can press it, and then she can't talk anymore. I use it a little more often than I should. No, just kidding. So that was a fancy soup, but not all soups have to be fancy. You've heard me say many times, this is how I prep. Oh, this one's empty. This is how I prep lunches. So chicken tortilla soup. I have an entire shelf full of jars. When my husband and my kids are ready, they grab one of those, throw it in in a thermos. But because we have two things on, you have a label? Look how fancy you are. I just write on top.
I am fancy.
Sharpie on the lid. Done.
Chicken salad.
Chicken salad. Chicken's on sale this month. Did we tell you? I hope we did, because we are doing, we also have our egg noodles on sale, and kids went back to school today. So 2 things to expect: posts about lice and posts about colds. So my kids are boys, and I will shave their heads if anybody in their school ends up with lice, because they are not bringing it home. But they're going to get colds, right? So you have a cold, what do you want? You want chicken noodle soup. So just so you didn't have to watch me, all I threw in here was some chicken bouillon, some celery, some onions, and some carrots. Then I'm going to open my egg noodles, which, you got it, they're on sale this month too. Egg noodles are like this, and the reason I like the egg noodles is they're thinner than our bow ties and our macaroni, so they refresh faster. So if you're just wanting to use the pour boiling water on method and throw the lid on, you have better luck with the egg noodles than you would with some of the thicker noodles. So I'm going to throw a handful of noodles in there, and then I'm going to throw some more of the chicken in. Then I'm going to put the lid on, and when the kids come home from school tonight, well, no, tonight they're getting ice cream cake, because that's a tradition in our family. First day of school, we always go out for ice cream, or we have ice cream cake. Do you have traditions for your kids' first day back at school? Anybody? If you do, comment below.
I do.
You celebrate and drink wine the minute they get on the bus,
I
right?
do. No, but when you get on the bus, see, when I was younger, my mom used to do like a dance on the front porch as we were getting on the bus, and I could never figure out why. And now I'm out there, you know, bye-bye. And they're like, and I'm like, it makes me happy. I know, it's terrible, right?
If you have a tradition other than maybe celebrating drinking wine and doing the happy dance, if you have a celebration to bring in the new school year, post in the comments below. So we always do ice cream cake, or we go out for ice cream. It started the first year when my kids started Head Start. My mom was out here that year, and she took them for ice cream. And here's kind of a funny story, kind of sad, happy memory combined. But when my mom passed away, my dad gave us this big can. It was actually not a Thrive can, but like this size can, probably a coffee can or something. And it was full of toonies. We kept it in the front seat on the floor of my minivan for 3 years. And every time we went for ice cream, we would take the money out of that can and say, Grandma's taking us for ice cream. We used that can until probably about, it was years after my mom passed away. She was still getting ice cream. So the kids walked out today. My 15-year-old twins started high school today. And right before they got on the bus, they turned and said, we're going for ice cream tonight, right? So we will be going for ice cream. They won't be having chicken noodle soup. But if they wanted chicken noodle soup, it's all in here. All I need to do is throw in the hot water. And just one more thing. I showed you the chicken dry, and I showed you how it crumbled. So when it's refreshed, it's like stringy, like chicken. It won't crumble. I can't crumble that up. It's just like chicken. And do you know why? Because it is chicken. So we have soup. We have we have 2 more things that are on sale this month, and I'm gonna go back to my soup and let Christina tell you.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk about Parmesan cheese. I don't know if you haven't tried our cheeses. Our cheeses are wonderful. We've got what? Monterey Jack or Colby Jack. We've got cheddar, Parmesan, mozzarella, and we also have the
cheddar,
the powder stuff that you can make like mac and cheese and stuff with as well. So yeah, so this is our Parmesan. You can see it's just like it's shredded Parmesan, and it's great that you can sprinkle over. Like I like to put it on if I'm making a pizza or whatever. I want that little extra bite of, you know, the different flavor that the Parmesan has from mozzarella. I'll sprinkle it on there or on my lasagna or on my spaghetti sauce. And I won't refresh it when I do that because it's gonna get refreshed on the way. If you wanted to refresh it, super, super simple. You just add the water and you put them in a baggie and then just kind of lay it out. I like to put it overnight because I don't like mushy cheese. You know, I don't know, when cheese is warm, it always seems mushy to me. So I like to do it the night before, and then you can use it just like if I don't know, maybe you like Parmesan on your taco. I don't know.
You should not refresh the cheeses with anything more than cold water, because if you use warm water or hot water, it's just going to clump all in together.
Right.
So refresh
But
it
it's
with
still
cold
not
water.
cold enough for me. It's still not cold enough for me when I refresh it with the water, like when right then and there and then eat it. For me, that's my personal thing. I like to put it in, even with when I do the cheddar and all that, I put it in the fridge. I do it the night before because I like it to, you know, I don't know. I want it to be cold, cold. I like cheese cold. So that's how I do it. My next one is our yogurt bites. Now, anybody that has tried these knows that these are fantastic. I hate yogurt. I will not eat a jar of yogurt, but I like these. And I always do, like for samples of my vendor events, I always do the vanilla ones. And it's funny because everybody always tells me that they taste like Lucky Charm marshmallows. And I'm like, yeah, but they're better for you. The Lucky Charms marshmallows are so good. But these are really great because they're a perfect snack, like especially for like school lunches and for the kids, because just like the apples, they come back and they're like a mashed up mess. When you send a yogurt and it's not in the fridge all day and they don't eat it, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to just toss it out because you're not going to be able to reuse that yogurt.
Right.
But these
Right.
you can. They're going to stay. You can just put them right back in their lunchbox the next day if they don't eat them. And I use these I make smoothie jars for my kids, especially my 8-year-old, because he likes smoothies and it's easy for me to do. So I just take the mason jars, I put yogurt, I put whatever fruits he wants in it, usually bananas and strawberries and maybe some apples and everything. And that way it just gives him that little pop of, you know, the yogurt, the good for you, for your gut stuff with the yogurt. So that way he has all of that right in there. So, and it blends up really nice. You can refresh it and eat it just like regular yogurt. But honestly, I'm not even really sure why you would want to, because it's just so good right as it is. But you can. You have that option. You can do that. Or you could probably even refresh them, and you could eat, like if the Greek one, you could probably make a dip with it. You know how you use, there's like a lot of yogurts that you make a dip out of and stuff like that. You could probably refresh Greek yogurt and make a dip out of it as well. So there's a lot of options to that. So there, I think, didn't we just hit on all of the items that are on sale this month?
I think we did. I think it's really important that we just remind everybody watching of one thing. Almost all of our products are single ingredient products. So the chicken is chicken. The green beans are green beans. There is not a lot of other stuff in them. Even the ones that do. So like the yogurt obviously has sugar in it, but yogurt does have sugar in it. The mashed potatoes do not have milk in them, which is a huge thing for a lot of people that are dairy intolerant, because a lot of the potato flakes that you get in the store already have milk in them. So our ingredients are clean, simple food. If you have allergens or allergies, or if you have food intolerances, it is a great way to be able to create the meals the way that you want to create them. I saw someone use them to flavor homemade whipped cream. The yogurt, yeah. Or to make, you could easily refresh it a little bit, keep it really thick, and use it on top of, you know, cupcakes or something like that. I've refreshed it when I eat it with my berries. Sometimes I eat so much of it dry all the time that every once in a while I just refresh it up. But it's your choice. You don't have to. So I do think that we've talked about everything. If you have any questions that we haven't addressed, throw them in the comments. We will be sure to get back to you. We'll add everybody's name who participated, and we will pick a winner on Thursday when we come back to you and we talk about what season is it? I know, I hear people yelling pumpkin, pumpkin, but I'm going to yell hunting, hunting. So we're going to be talking about hunting and hiking meals. I'm going to do meals that you can carry in backpacks. Christina's going to talk about meals that you can prep in jars. So same meals, right?
But they're not necessarily for hunting and hiking when you're doing them in jars. Like for me,
that's exactly what I mean. Because not everybody's a hunter or a hiker.
Busy mom thing. It's a busy mom thing, because you know what? My kids are in soccer. There's after school activities. There's a million things, and I work all day, and you know, and I know everybody else does, and we're pulled in 100 different directions. Yeah. I've done. If you ever done freezer meals, it takes forever. You're like chopping for like hours. The great part about this is you can I can whip up 20 of these soups in 10 minutes, you know, and have them ready in 20 meals. So, I mean, it's just as easy as opening the can and scooping. That's it. So we're going to show you how to make it a little bit easier and do that. And just to save time, because, you know, I'd rather you spend the time at the table with your family than being in the kitchen while everybody else is sitting at the table. And you know what? You know how moms, they always say moms don't ever get to eat hot food because you're doing everything else. Well, guess what? With this, you can eat hot foods because you're not still cooking.
Right.
So it's a great way to, it's a really great time saver.
So hopefully we see you on Thursday when we talk about meals in jars or meals in bags. Depends where you want to take those meals. So again, I'm Tracy Taylor from Alberta.
And I'm Christina Rios Tirado from New York.
And we are the
Chatty Cooks!
Have a nice day, guys.